Hello and welcome to day 4 of the Easter Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a brand new free Cricut paper craft project every day for 10 days. Today's project is this beautiful cross-layered design filled with pretty flowers and leaves. Let's find out where to get the free SVG and how to make it. Let's get started. If you haven't already registered your free ticket for the Easter Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/Easter to do so. Click any of the sign up buttons on the page and enter your name and email to register. Once registered, check your inbox for an email from me with subject line Easter Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down the page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out craftwithsarah.com/Easter bundle to purchase immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Easter Craft Countdown. Each file will also be available to purchase individually from my SVG shop once the free version has expired. All downloads come in zip folders. You need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then go into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the download folder, and then the file to choose is the one which starts SVG in the file name. I'll click and drag that in, and then it should look like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see the layers next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, click Cancel down on the bottom right and try again, and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. Click the green Upload button, and then the design will appear in your recent uploads. So you can click it to get the green border around the edge, and then press Add to Canvas. Here is my cross, and you can resize it using the width and the height boxes at the top of the screen. Make sure the padlock icon is closed, so click on it. You may need to do it twice, and then you see the little picture changes, so it's now closed. That means I can type either a width or a height in. So for example, let's go 7.5 inches tall. Press Enter on my keyboard, and then the width changes in proportion. And that's all I'm going to do to this. If you want to, you could of course change the colours, or you could add some extra details, maybe if you're putting it in a frame or on a greetings card. But for me, I'm just going to cut this out as it is. So let's press Make It. This separates out all of the different colours, and then you can change the paper size in here. One thing I like to do is to rotate the shapes. If they're sort of long and thin like this one, rotate it with the Shift key held down so you can go exactly 90 degrees, then move it to the top, and that means it takes up less of the space on the cardstock, which means I'll now have all of this sheet ready to use on another project another day. You need to do that for every single colour, so go ahead, get it looking exactly as you want it to, and then press Continue to connect to your Cricut machine. Get everything cut out from your cardstock, and then I'll show you how to stick it all together. Here is my cross design all cut out and ready to stick together. I've put the layers one on top of the other just to check that I'm happy with all of the colours. I'm going to be sticking this together with a combination of glue and 3D foam squares. The glue I'm using is called Collall. I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like other glues can do, and I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles. This is going to be especially helpful for gluing this very top layer with all of the little flowers. The foam squares I use are from Dot and Dab. Mine are quite small, as you can see, but if you've got bigger ones, they'll work fine too. As with all my layer designs, I'm going to start at the bottom and work upwards. So let's pull all these layers apart. until I'm left with just the bottom two, which are these ones. This will be a foam square layer, so let's turn it over and add some foam. I'm going to put some in all of the sort of corners first, but you also want to make sure you've got a good amount in the middle and around the edges, because if you just put it in those corners with nothing in the middle, you might find that the cardstock sort of bends downwards where it doesn't have anything to support it. Yeah, that should be enough. So now I can peel the tops off to reveal all of the stickiness underneath. Alright, so this design's a little tricky because it doesn't line up against anything. It actually sits right in the middle of this piece. So we need to be a bit clever when positioning this to try and get it straight and also exactly in the middle of that base piece. Going to gently drop it down. And the reason for being gentle with it is that if I wasn't happy with that positioning, I could pick it up and move it without damaging anything. But that's looking good to me. So I'm going to push down to get it all sealed. The next layer is my white one over here, and this will be another foam square layer. If you're making this cross into a greetings card, so maybe you're making it a little bit smaller, or you just want it sort of thinner to go into a greetings card so that you can post it just for the normal cost of a normal postage stamp, then you might want to glue the layers and maybe only foam one of them. And if you're going to do that, the one I'd recommend foaming would be our next solid one, so the blue one. But if you're doing it just to display in the home, or maybe to go in a shadow box or a frame, then it's nice to add the dimension. Again, this one goes in the middle. So line it up and push down to seal. The final foam square layer is our last remaining solid layer. So let's get the foam on here too. I'm very nearly run out, so I'm going to have to go onto a new sheet. I think for this one I'll just put one down the middle because it's a lot narrower than the other pieces. And just like magic, another sheet of foam squares has appeared. Okay, another one to line up in the middle. There. Okay. Our final layer is the decorative flower one, and this one actually does line up exactly against the dark blue one, but this one, you'll be happy to know, is a glue layer, not a foam one, because it'll be really hard to cut your foam that small. I've turned it upside down. Just going to work through it with my glue. I'm going to need to work quite quickly so the glue doesn't dry. I'm just going to try and get a little bit in all the big areas of the design, because if it just went around the edge, it wouldn't be stuck on very well. So I'm going to use some of these flowers and leaves to get extra glue on there. But I'm not even going to try and get the glue into some of these little spindly flowers. I think even my needle tip applicator bottle would struggle with those. There we go. Now carefully pick it up, trying not to get glue all over your fingers. And then line it up. This layer by itself would actually look really nice cut up from vinyl to put on something. But I don't really do vinyl projects because I hate weeding vinyl. Right, I'm pushing this down super gently. I'm hardly putting any pressure on it at all. And that's because I don't want the glue to sort of spill out the edges and smush out, so I'm just doing the gentlest of dabs to make sure it will stick, but without risking any of that glue. And then there we go, my layered floral cross for Easter is all finished. You can see all of the layers in there. I lift it up a bit towards the camera. It's got loads of depth to it, and it's looking really, really pretty. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this layered papercraft cross for Easter. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 5 of the Easter craft countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!